Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Lisa with Lisa's Faith and Budget Planning channel. I'm excited to be here today. We're closing out Paycheck 3 and preparing for March. Today is February 25th, and yes, I'm closing out a little bit early, but my husband's pay is going to come on February 26th at midnight, and so I thought I'd just go ahead and close it out. It doesn't matter that the pay for March comes early at the end of February. I'm just going to make it work the way I have it, and that's what I love about budgeting. I can be as flexible as I need to be to take care of our needs. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Lisa, and I do budgeting videos, I do faith videos, and today is a paycheck to paycheck kind of video, except I'm only closing out a paycheck. I'm not going to start a new paycheck for the month of March until this weekend. So give me a few days on that. But I will close this out and you will see the numbers that I'm going to be moving to the next month. So a lot going on. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. I hope you consider subscribing and giving a thumbs up if you like this video. And let's get started. Excuse me. So this has been a pretty good and kind of boring month. I'm still waiting for one transaction to happen. I'm not worried about it. I know it's going to happen. It's going to happen tomorrow. It's going to come out. It's good to go. I'm not concerned. The money's in the bank. It's there. So everything I expected as far as my bills came out. Totally came out. And then my spending categories, a little high in a lot of area, or one area, and lower in the others, which compensated for the spending, which I am cool with. And then we had some overspending here. Not necessarily overspending, but conscious spending out of the buffer on things that we needed that we weren't planning for. Unbudgeted is not necessarily a negative or bad thing. Sometimes unbudgeted is just an opportunity to purchase what you need in a time frame that works best. And for right now, this was the best time frame for this budget to spend on things like a Google Nest, which we've been wanting for a while. We spent this whole past year, we're going on a total year in March, where we've been working from home, going to school from home. Both of my kids are going to school from home online. And one of my kids does go part-time twice a week, but most of the time he's at home. And so we're on our Wi-Fi a lot, and my husband's working from home, and we need good signals. We stream everything. We don't have cable, so we use our Wi-Fi for that. And so we stream everything we want to watch. It's our entertainment, it's our work, it's our school, it's everything for us. So I believe this Google Nest, from what my husband's research, is going to really help. It's coming in the next couple of days, so I'm excited about that. Some of the snowstorms in the south have really, ice and snow have really complicated getting shipping things here, so that's why it's taking a little longer to get, but we've already purchased it, and that's fine. So if we keep going at the rate we're going with this pandemic and having to be at home all the time, yeah, this will be a worthwhile investment. I wish we had thought about buying it sooner, but we thought about it, but we just weren't willing to spend the money on it yet, and now we are. So that's where that's coming from. So I'm going to pop this page out to make it easier to write in, and we're going to get started. So I already did my weekly check-in. So if you haven't seen that video, that was the last video I did, go check that out. I'll try to put it in the cards above. Let's see here. As far as income, nothing changed. Nothing was different as far as income goes. So the income stayed the same. Like I said, all the bills pretty much stay the same. I'm actually going to be, a little naughty, and I'm going to go ahead and write down this $10.59, even though it hasn't actually left the bank account yet. I know it's going to. It never changes every month. So I'm just going to go ahead and mark it there. And then right now, I'm going to add in grocery, household, restaurants, miscellaneous, and gasoline from our spending categories. I have a little sticky note here that I used when I did the last video for my weekly check-in. It does have the totals. I think that's for this paycheck. I have to pay attention because paycheck to paycheck and weekly check-in are two different things. And paycheck 2, I need to do 2 weeks. This I only need to do 1 week. So these numbers should be fine. So here we go. I spent $302.17 here on grocery, household, over budget by 180 some dollars. You'll see that in a second. Restaurants was $166.35, and then, which is way under budget, and then miscellaneous. I spent all of that last minute, and I am very happy we got what we wanted. So $234.40, and then gasoline was $34.74. All right, so let's do the math. These numbers should equal what I have on the weekly check-in. So if you saw that, you'll recognize these numbers. Here we go. 121.04 minus the 302.17. And that gives me a negative, move this out of the way, 181.13. And then let's see, 207, put my pen down before I use it again, 55 minus 166.35, and that gives us 41.20. I know I just realized I didn't zoom you guys in, so I'm going to zoom you guys in a second after I finish writing all these numbers down, and then we'll go from there. So 272 272.85 minus 234.40 gives, that's not right. Oh, I wrote the wrong number down. Silly me. I just wrote what I spent on Mary and Martha. I forgot to include my tripod I bought. Oh my goodness. I meant to write the 261.53. Oh, that was funny. Okay. 272.85 minus 261.53. There we go, $11.32. Also, if you're hearing clicking noises or some kind of weird noises, my neighbor across the street is having his roof redone. So sorry about that. There's nothing I can do about that. And this is the only time I can really film for these kind of things. So we're just gonna have to put up with the noise a little bit. So 174 gasoline, 48 minus the 34.74. I kind of keep this gas budget high as if we're not in a pandemic, hoping we will get to travel again, but comfortably anyway. But it also helps when I overspend in other categories and cover without having to use the buffer in the checking account. This is kind of like a second buffer in my account to compensate for overspending here. So yeah, and that's okay. But if there's money left over, then it would go probably either into the checking account buffer or it goes into savings. So I will show you that at the end. So let me zoom you guys in real quick. Now that I have all my numbers, you can see that. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. So we had to budget with $3,916.25. So what we're going to do today is actually figure out what I'm going to put into savings now that we're at the end of the month before the new paychecks come in for the first of the month for March, which actually be coming in early because March 1st is a Monday, and when that happens, they give it to you early. So yeah, I want to go ahead and close out this February so I know what I'm putting in my savings. And the next video I'll do is my sinking funds and savings tracker. So yeah, that will be the next video coming up. And so look forward to that. So what I'm going to do is that's the amount I have budget for, and I'm going to take these expenses, which are my bills, my spending categories, and my unbudgeted, and I'm going to calculate all these up, and then we're going to get that total and see what's left over. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and total this up, see if I can line this up where I can calculate and having trouble, and get all the numbers together. There we go. All right, here we go. So I'm going to fast forward through this and I'll be right back. Here we go. So here is my total for all the expenses I have here. And I'm going to move my paper up, and I'm going to go ahead and write down this number down here. So I spent $2,578.59, which is quite a bit more than what I have put over here as what I planned, but I didn't know I was going to purposefully buy these things as well. So here we go. I'm going to take that number and I'm going to make it a negative on my calculator, and I'm going to add this the amount that was deposited, and that was $3,916.25, and that gives us $1,337.66. So that is what I have left over. But before I mark that number, I almost forgot. I need to put what I'm putting in transfer to savings emergency fund. That's what I want. So we are completely consumer debt free, not mortgage debt free yet, but consumer debt free. And we are putting money in for our emergency fund. And that's what I'll be talking about in my savings tracker in my next video. But for right now, I just want to find out how much I want to transfer over into that fund so I can have the number I'm looking for and maybe leave a little more left in my checking account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check my notebook. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back. So I have this little note here. I'll pop it out. It's just, I got scratch notes everywhere. So I was trying to figure out how much I wanted to put over in my savings. You'll see this in another video, but this number here is saved from the month. $1,091.46 is what I came up with. That I wanted to save, because what I'm trying to do is keep it at even numbers for my account. I know it's ridiculous. I have this odd thing about having easily divisible numbers or things like that to easily see how much money we are saving and building. So what I came up with after doing all the numbers, the total amount I wanted to save was $2,380 for the month. My husband finished his Jeep, and so what money was left over there went into the emergency fund. The money we've been saving that was an overpayment to our checking account, that went into the emergency fund. I've talked about that in another video, but today we're going to transfer $1,091.46, and that wasn't budgeted. It wasn't planned. Negative over here doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It just means I didn't plan for it, and I was waiting till the end of month to plan for it or figure out what I was going to spend later. So that's why I do write the negative, just to remind me that this wasn't planned for. So that's what that is right there. So I'm going to take that $1,337.66, which I could put all of that into savings in it if I really wanted to, but I don't want to. I like keeping a little bit of cash sitting in the checking account until the next pay period comes. So here we go, minus 1091.46. Okay, so that leaves me with $246.20 as my checking account buffer starting in the month of March. It's not a lot of money, but that's okay. You don't need a lot in the buffer if you track pretty well on what you're doing in your spending categories and your bills, and just make sure you have your money in the right place. So I'm going to zoom you out real quick and I'll be right back. That's Paycheck 3. I've closed it out. It's that simple. It only took 5 minutes really if I didn't talk through it. And I know exactly where I'm going into the next month. I know exactly what I'm putting into my savings fund for the emergency fund, and you'll see why the numbers make sense when I use this odd number here. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm excited how much we put in there and what it looks like and where I'm at. I'm over 10% of my total of what I want for my emergency fund, and I've only been saving since December. And I only put savings once or twice a month, because if my husband has overtime in his paycheck, that goes into savings. If my husband doesn't have overtime, then I just take what's left over at the end of the month. So Paycheck 3 is where I really solidify how much and what money goes where, unless the paycheck he gets, like in Paycheck 2, like this month, had the overtime, I went ahead and moved it over. So I can show you that real quick. Find that. Let's see. Almost there. Budget, restaurant. Oh, there we go. So let's put the notebook back together. I love a disc system. I can just pop things in and out. So there's Paycheck 2, and here, if you can see it, transfer to savings, $630.09. That was the overage amount that I discovered from his overtime, and I went ahead and put it in savings in this paycheck period, and now in this paycheck period, I'm going to put this $1,091.64. I'm trying to make it an even number in my savings account, and that's why this number is a little odd right here, because I was moving money around. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more of my videos, please subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys next time. Have an amazing and blessed day. Bye.